box now. Once again, in the chat box, I have already shared you the agenda for today's session. Today we will discuss resourcing, and this is there in the resourcing chapter. We will talk about RSCI chart, Gantt chart, and compressing the project, that is crashing, that we will learn in this resourcing project chapter, which is given on the chapter number 7. And then we will talk today the budgeting project, where we will learn the project cost estimation, which is there in the chapter number 8, unit 8. This is the agenda for today's session, and I am trying to share the first of all I am trying to share you the screen to all of you. I think all of you are sitting with the books now. Okay. So I'm just sharing you the screen. I think all of you can see the screen now. We have resourcing of the project. I'm waiting for 2 o'clock to start. All of you are knowing what is resources. Once we will use the word resource, means we are talking about 5M. And that 5Ms are. Hello.
ना हो गया ना जो है उसी के साथ.
हेलो.
एक बार आ जाना अभी. क्या करना मतलब? अरे वही जो मेन उसका है 50 mm की शीट है.
Shubham, please, I am just mute the participant. Okay, thank you, Shubham Kumar Singh. We are talking about, I'm sharing you, I have already shared you the resource. All of you can see now. Today we will learn resourcing the project. And in resourcing the project, all of you can see here. Once I'm talking about, can you hear me, all of you? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, resourcing the project. If I'm talking about resource, all of you see here. Once I'm talking about resource means 5M. 5M means man, material, machine, method, and last one, money. Man, material, machine, method, and money. These are the 5Ms. We are how to manage these 5M in the project that we will learn in this chapter. So basically we will focus on 3 important topics in this chapter. For resourcing, we are using RSCI chart that I will explain you. Sometime your project is of say 5 days. Suppose your project life is say 70 days, and instead of 70 days it is taking your project is your top management is saying you have to finish your project within 50 days. It means you have to crash the activity. You have to reduce the time frame. So how we have to crash the activity, that also we will learn in this chapter. So the learning objective of this chapter, resourcing project chapter, is identifying the resource needed for the project, assign a resource to each activity, that I will explain you how we have to assign the resource to to the each activity using the Gantt project software, show the resource assignment on a project schedule, we will describe the methods of resolving resource conflicts, and we will at the end we will learn crashing and fast tracking. These are the two compressing activity of the project schedule from 70 days to 50 days. That is the way we have to crash. Technical ability needed when you are resourcing the project. What type of technical ability we need as a project manager that you see in this PowerPoint slide? We must know how we can able to estimate the resource demand. We must know how to create the staffing management plan. This is a second type of technical ability we must have. We must have the assigning one or more person to each activity. And in the resourcing, we must know the crashing or fast tracking that we have shown here as a compressing a project schedule. What is the behavioral ability needed when you are resourcing a project? The first important thing needed is we have to select the right people, identify exactly what each need is there. We have to ensure the performance capability. We have to deal with the difficult individual work schedules, and we have to decide where each person will work, and we have to deal with the people from diverse background, diversity, assemble an effective team, establish an effective virtual relationship with each team worker. So as we have started in the beginning with a talk of Steve Jobs, he told that a project where the only important thing is teamwork. So team management and teamwork is a very important component in the resourcing. So key resourcing consideration, which if you will refer this, helps the key people develop necessary skill, consider project trade-off. Projects are often a very large portion of total project cost. As you recall the previous day session of scheduling, activities versus resource. Each activity you need a resource. You need material, you need money, you need methods. So activity versus resource dominated schedule basis comparison. Time in the project when a scope is determined, more or activity. I'm just coming straight away. Estimate resource need. How one can estimate the resource need? How many resources of each type and skill or knowledge level are needed? This is a part of estimating the resource need. Under the estimation of resource need, we have to consider the support needs such as information system and human resource. We have to consider the constraints placed upon how people are hired, scheduled, and released. So estimate activity resource have been defined as per the PMBOK guidelines. If you will refer, the definition is given on the bottom, and that you can refer it, and that you will see here that how we have what is the definition of resourcing estimate activity resource. The important component, if you will refer your book also of the chapter 7, the important component is creating a staff management plan. Staff management plan is the most important component of any leader. No, identify the potential resources, determine resource availability, and decide the time issue. A staff management plan is a document that describes when and how human resource requirement will be met. Now, the first you see here in this component, ID square, identifying, determining, and deciding the time. The first component is identify the potential resources. in the process of identifying the potential resource, what we have to do. Here the work function, job titles and range of responsibility we have to consider when you are identifying the potential resource. Professional discipline, degree and the professional certifications. These are the things we as a manager we are already considering. Skill level, experience and the performance rating, physical locations, willingness to relocate and travel, organizational administrative unit and the cost and contractual issues. Here is the identifying the potential resource. If you look into this particular PowerPoint slide, available people and resource need, a specific skill gap and available versus need. Identify an adequate number and mix of people. What are the things we have to key things we as a project manager have to consider? The number one is the man is a subject matter expert or not? SMEs. Equally available opportunity and opportunity options. This is the things we are considering, and on the basis of that, we are identifying the potential resource. The second thing in the process of a staffing or planning of a human resource management, we used to see identify the availability of a people, secure commitment, full or part-time resource, internal versus external resource. These are the things we have to look into. If you want to see the page number 147, all of you please go to the page number 147 of your project management book. It talks about determining the resource availability, wherein it is talking about resource is available for the project as a full-time basis or part-time. Requirement is full-time or part-time. Whether we need a resource who is having a full commitment, that secure the commitment. Whether the resource is internal or external. These are things we have to see in the determining the resource is concerned. The third component is time issue with the resource project. When to bring the people on board. Suppose you have already identified, you have decided, you have already taken their commitment, but when to board in the project. That is a time issue with the resourcing project. This is the other component we have to decide here. Get the team functioning effectively. In the process of that, we have to consider interpersonal relationship, establish the training need, clarify the roles and the responsibility. Once it is clear that time have been decided, when to board, commitment have been decided, you have already identified the resource. Now the next step, next page comes is a staffing management plan. How the project planner will identify the potential people for the project and how they will determine which people are available and secure their services, and how to deal with the timing issue of building up and then releasing the project workforce. If you look into the overall project journey and the resources, you will come across with a various type of resource person who will work in the project. Some of the persons, the type of project team compositions, if you will look into, there are 4 type of compositions which is shown here. Cross-functional composition, very important thing. A person, suppose your project is related to civil engineering, but you need a man of electrical engineering skill. So this is where your core project is a civil project, but you are taking the services of electrical engineer, sometimes you are taking the services of mechanical engineers. So these type of cross-functional people are also a composition of your project team. This is one type of composition you will come across. This is called cross-functional teams, cross-functional project teams. I think cross-functional project teams. Here you are learning, and I am giving all the support to you. But here there is another player who is giving us a support in our internet connectivity and all. They are also a team member, project team member, and this type of team member is called cross-functional project team, which is also one of the composition. Second is co-located team, another team. If you see here, co-located team. Co-located means everyone is not physically located at that particular location. They are located in different places wherever the project is going on. So this is a co-located project team. This is a second composition of resource, and that you have to co-locate them, right? Third is some are working virtually with you. Nowadays, if you will see in the COVID era, most of the project team members are work from home. So they are also a part of your project team. And they are virtual project team members. Am I clear? The third component is outsourcing some of the activity because of reducing the cost. Some of the software project development component like data entry work. The developed country outsourcing to the developing nation, and developing nation on a contract basis you are getting data entry. So this is a outsourcing work. They are not from your core organization, but they are also your team members. But if you will ask from them, they are working under you. But if you will ask which one is your organization, they will say I am not from the L&T, I am from EME company, but working for L&T. So this is outsourcing a project team. So this is the composition, 4 different type of compositions of a project team you will come across, and that is being shown here with the help of this diagram. To allocate the resource, assigning the resource to each activity is a very important component of this journey of resourcing project. Suppose you have already you have a project means a set of activity, and you have already classified 4 or 5 activity. I will open the same Gantt project software, and there we will try to assign some activity to different people. So assigning a resource to each activity means Mr. N.M. Misra will do the first activity, Mr. Lavneet Kumar will do the second activity, Mr. Sanjay Kumar will do the third activity, Mr. Saurabh will do the fourth activity. So this is the way how we have to assign it. This is a very important part of our and very important learning we need. With this skill we must know as a project manager. So as per the project management PMBOK or PMI website, we as a project manager are using RACI chart. RACI chart, which is given on your book also, printed book also on the page number 150, RACI chart, assigning a resource to each activity. Assigning a resource to each activity, show the resource responsibility on the RACI chart. Show resource assignment on Gantt chart, and summarize the resource responsibility with the help of histogram. This is the 4 important skill we must know as a project manager, which is being shown here and elaborated in detail on the page number 150 and 151. That I will show you with the help of Gantt project, how we can assign the responsibility on RACI chart. What is this RACI chart? First, RACI chart is used for assigning the responsibility, number one. So responsibility assignment matrix, RAM, responsibility assignment matrix, and RACI is a form of let me check. Hello, all is well? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. So, Lavneet Jai, please tell 2 minutes before to start the Gantt software. Yes. We will start the Gantt software, but before that, I will explain you the RACI chart. Coming back. Yes. RACI, full form of RACI is responsible, R for responsible, A for approve, C for consult, and I for inform. A chart, RACI chart have already given. WBS, the work breakdown structure, project activity that correspond to the WBS, who will involve, and maybe more than one person. Responsible, approve, consult, and inform. This is a matrix, RACI. You see here, this is a work breakdown in the column 1, a partial RACI chart you see on the top, on the PowerPoint slide. In the column 1 is a WBS. WBS means work breakdown structure. If you see here in the WBS 1.2.4, 1.2.4, it means the develop leadership program. Develop leadership program is a project. Under that, you have the activity, project development 1.1. And under that project activity, there are some tasks, 5 tasks are there. 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.3, 1.1.3. So under the project development activity, 1.1.5 is a task. So 1.1.5 is a WBS, and the activity name under the 1.1.5 task name is determine format for training. And here you see, here are the resource person name is on the top. Activity executive directors, project leader, and project team. Now, who is having the responsibility to determine the format for the training? It is the responsibility of the project leader. So R stands for that. Am I clear? RACI chart, how we have to make. That is very important thing as a project manager. You must learn this very important chart. Who is responsible responsible for the task determining the format for the training? Project leader, R. And project leader have to consult with whom? C, directors. Am I clear? Similarly, if you go one ahead, work breakdown structure 1.1.4, create policy and procedure. I am taking 1.1.2, 1.1.2 WBS 1.1.2, and the activity name is identify project team. Who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for identifying the project team? are directors, and director have to consult with whom? Project leaders, and director have to take the approval from whom? Executive director, and director have to inform to whom? Project team. So a complete activity 1.1.2, wherein you see each resource person in this RSCI chart is having one responsibility. I am a project team member. Director have to inform me that who are my team members. And before making a project team, director must consult with the project leader and get the approval. So I think this is a partial RSCI chart, and this chart is giving you a clear picture and also giving you a clear skill how to develop a RSCI chart. And this RSCI chart, once you will make this RAM means responsibility assignment matrix. Responsibility assignment, this chart is a RAM, responsibility assignment matrix. And another way you can say RSCI chart, because here you are writing R, responsibility assignment approval, who is going to approve, who is going to who has to be consultant, and who has to be informed. All these things are reflecting from this matrix chart. Therefore this chart is called RSCI chart, and this RSCI chart you have to reflect on the software, Gantt project or MS project, wherever you are responding, and you have to assign who is responsible, who is assigned, who has to be informed, who is to be consulted, that you have to assign on the software, right? And here it is being assigned. You all the RSC RAM matrix, you have to put it into the on the software, and your software will look like this. And this is showing the resource assignment on a Gantt chart. So now this is the time, 2 minutes before I have already told Labneet, you open the Gantt chart, right? We will explain you how RSCI chart have to be converted into the Gantt chart with the help of Gantt project software. And then I think this is we will show you how to show the Gantt chart. And then we will talk about the tracing of, right? One thing I am doing before going to the Gantt project, crashing I am completing, and then I will explain you how to assign the RSCI chart resources on the software, right? That I will explain you after completing the crashing knowledge part. Let me finish it. This is the way we will summarize the resource responsibility time period with the help of an histogram on the software, either on MS project or on a Gantt project. That I will demonstrate you. That we will demonstrate you after completing the journey of learning. Now the second important component in this chapter is dealing with the resource overloading. Identifying which activity are involved. Compare resource histogram with a Gantt project scheduling, and management decision requires to solve the overloading. So resource overloading, partially we can reduce. Once you can see the histogram and you can see where is overloaded, and you can reduce it. That we can do it. Method of how we can, what methods is available to resolve the resource overloading, that I am it is given in your book. Reorder the activity is one way. Occur or borrow additional resource. Reduce project scopes or extend the project schedules. Inform the sponsor of the severe overloads, and resource leveling we have to do, or overloaded person have to be given additional resource. So additionally you can parallel processing, additional resource leveling we can do. Resource leveling, any of the network analysis diagram you can find out and reduce the peak demand time, and on the slack particularly resource overloading will come on your critical path. So wherever having the activity where the slack time is more, from there you can pick the resource and put it on the critical path. By way of that, you can level the resource. So find out the slack time, and highest slack people have the resources at the highest slack. You can pick that individual and place on the overloaded place, and by way of that you can level the resource. This is the resource level overloading example, which how we can do with the help of software that is being demonstrated in this PowerPoint. Resource leveling we can do. Now the last important thing, third important learning objective of the resourcing of project is compressing the project schedule. Two important things we are doing: the crashing and fast tracking. That is that you can see on the top. Action to reduce the critical path, crashing and fast tracking. I will explain you how we can apply the compressing the project schedule. Suppose you want to compress, your project life is a 70 days and your boss is saying you finish it on 50 days. So then you have to reduce. So crash, that you have to crash it. So crash may cost more money to speed up the schedule. Am I correct? And fast track may increase the risk to speed up the schedule. These are the two. Only two ways is there of compressing. Either you have to go for a fast tracking or crashing. So crashing may cost more money to speed up the schedule, and fast tracking may increase the risk to speed up the schedule. What is crashing and what is fast tracking have been defined here. I will explain you definition as per the PMBOK guidelines. It is given on the PowerPoint slide. This PowerPoint I have already uploaded on your team channel of project management. You go to the team channel, session 6. I have already uploaded this PowerPoint slide. So crash, if you want to know what is the crashing, you just add on today. This definition, crashing definition, is not a definition which is define crashing. Is there, means I have already taken from the body of knowledge, and as it is I have pasted here on the PowerPoint, and you can see a specific type of project schedule compression techniques performed by taking action to decrease the total project duration, how to get the maximum schedule duration for a least additional cost. Fast tracking, I am going to explain you first. I will learn what is crashing. Certain activity are performed at a faster than a normal pace. Which activities are on the which activity you have to crash? First in the crashing, what we have to do? We have to find out what are the activities are there on the critical path. Which activities are on the critical path? First of all, you have to identify this. Second, ask which critical path activity costs the least on a per day basis to speed up. Very important thing. These two important things you have to do. In the crashing, dear friends, dear all project managers, what you have to do in the crashing, first of all, you have to find out what are the activities are there, which are the activities are on the critical path, and which activity is taking least cost per day. That you have to identify. Let me try to see with these PowerPoint slides. You see here. All of you can see now. Let us see this PowerPoint slide. In this activity, I have applied the forward pass method and reverse path method, and I find out the critical path. Through the enumeration method also, I calculated the duration of the project, and you can see which one is the critical path. 25 days. A, B, E, G. A, B, E, G. Am I correct? So if you want to crash by one day, so we have to we don't go to on the activity C, D, and F. Our all focus will be shifted to A, B, E, and G. First part. First thing I have already identified, we have to crash either A, B, E, or G only. No need of going and looking towards C, F, and D. Am I clear? Now what I have to see is how much, suppose how much per day cost is taking. Suppose you see on the bottom in the PowerPoint slide here, the activity A, activity A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A is given. Normal time is given in the second column and normal cost. To do A activity is $300. Normal cost to do a B activity is $250 is known to us. $100, $300, $150 for E, $275 for F, and $700 for G. Now what is the crash cost? Per day crash cost we have to find out. 5 days. First I am calculating the per day crash cost of A activity. So I have to divide 300 by 5. Am I clear, Lavneet? I am asking from all of you. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? I think I lost you.
Yes, yes, sir.
Can
We
you
can
see?
hear you.
So which is the which activity we have to crash? A, B, E, or G? One of you open the mic. Day for A,
Sir, up to
300 by 5. Hello? Hello? Yes,
sir,
please.
up to column 3 we are clear. Activity, normal time, and normal cost. And please explain after that.
Normal cost is clear.
B,
Crash time is
B we
clear
can
to all of you?
B we can
No, sir.
accelerate.
How crash time is calculating?
Okay, now I am telling you which activity you have to crash first. Either A, B, E, or G. Which activity have to be crashed? You want to crash by 1 day.
B.
G.
I want. Tell me. Which activity in the second column you see all of you? Which activity I am going to crash?
If we crash B activity, then crash cost per day will be minimum.
Least cost. Which one is having the least cost? If you want to crash, you see in this next slide, 24. I want to convert the 25 days project to a 24 days project, right? So in this, the least cost is with B. B $250 divided by 8. 250 by 8. So least cost, crash cost per day, minimum is with which activity is taking minimum per day working cost. If you are doing, if per day cost for A is 300 by 5, am I right? Per day cost for A is 300 by 5. Per day cost for B is 250 by 8. Am I clear? Per day cost for E is 150 by 3. Per day cost for G is 700 by 9. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Now you see that B is having the minimum cost, per day minimum cost. To do a B activity, minimum cost is coming with a B. Am I right? Am I correct or not? Because 700 by 9, 150 by 3, 250 by 8, and 300 by 5. Which one is the minimum? Minimum is
B.
B. So I am crashing B here in this PowerPoint slide by 1 day. If I am crashing B by 1 day, how much extra cost will come?
50.
50. Am I clear? So if you are crashing, the B activity, so your project duration is changing from 25 days to 24 days. Bottom I have written 25 to 24 days. And which activity is crashed by 1 day? B activity. Activity crashed is B. Am I right? On the bottom I have written project duration changed from 25 days to 24 days. We crashed B because B is the least activity and incremental per
Sorry, your voice has lost.
Hello, can you hear me, all of you? Hello.
Sorry, your voice was lost for 1 minute.
Okay, now it's okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? This PowerPoint is clear to all of you?
Sorry, sir. Actually, I'm not. I'm
Able
not
to
clear.
understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Please,
Actually, looks.
once again, I'm explaining. Don't worry.
Looks it is going very fast.
No, don't worry. I'm just, you see. This much is clear.
Yes, sir.
This is clear.
Request you to please go back to the previous slide where we can see what is definition. So, with the help of definition, I will try to understand once again.
Okay, very good. You see here, in crashing, what we have to do first? First, we have to identify the activity on the critical path. Am I clear? This is clear.
Yes, sir.
Activity on the critical path. This is the activity on the critical path you have to find out. Am I right? Then you have to find out which critical activity costs the least on per day basis. I am going to give you one solving on a whiteboard, same problem, right? One problem I am taking and then you will understand it. Okay, don't worry. I am taking a different set of problem. I am discarding it. I am opening whiteboard. One minute. Now you can see all of you. Suppose your project is there having A, B, C, D, E, and F. These are the activity you have, right? 5 days, 2 days. This activity take 3 days. This activity take 4 days. This activity take 5 days, right? And this activity is taking, say, 8 days. Am I clear? This is clear to all of you. Can you hear me? Now,
Yes,
am I
sir.
with you, friends? Hello?
Yes.
Now you make this. Now tell me which one is the critical path in this. And suppose I am taking another activity here, G, with a 10 days. And suppose this is another activity here. So how many paths is there in this? A, B, D, F. Am I right? And here you can write G and here I am writing F. So A, B, D, G is one path. Another path is
Sir, you
A,
have written ABCG. It is ABDG.
ABDG. Am I correct? I have written wrong because you are able to understand or not, that you will now you are able to understand, that much is clear. Now second path is which one? A uh,
ACEG.
ACEG. Very good. ACEG. And third path
AFEG.
AFEG. Now find out the total time from each path, all of you. This from this you are taking 5 days, 2 days, and 5 days, 2 days, 3 days, and this is 5 days, no? So 5 days. So how much is total time?
15.
15. Very good. Second one, ACEG. Calculate it. 5, 8,
22.
22 days. Third path, AFEG.
20.
5,
20.
20. So which one is the critical path? Which one is the critical path? A path through which you are taking maximum time. Am I right?
ACEG. Yes.
ACEG is my critical path. This much is clear. So we have already identified my critical path. In the crashing activity, you have already found the critical path. Now the time taken to complete the journey through the critical path is the life of the project. So how your project will complete in how many days? This project will complete in how many days?
22.
20. Am I clear? This much is clear. This you have already learned in the previous class. Now suppose your boss is saying to complete the project not in 22 days, you have to complete it in 20 days.
We cannot follow the AFEG path.
No. AFEG path you are taking only 20 days, no? Because your project will complete in 22 days. You cannot able to complete the project on 28 days. Because till you are all the work will not complete, your project is not set to be complete. Am I clear? So all the work is finishing on 22nd day.
Okay, sir.
Practically understood, no? There are something pending on 28 days, therefore because ACEG of your project is completing on 22. Maybe the SU policy is pending. So that is also a part of the job. So my project will complete on 22nd day itself. And your boss is saying you complete everything, you wind up everything on 28th days. And you are saying, no, we will wind up on 22nd day itself. So what to do? Your boss is saying to finish, you have to, it means he is saying to crash the activity by 2 days. Am I clear or not? This is clear to everyone? Yes or no? Please
Yes,
tell
sir.
me.
Yes, sir.
Now
Yes.
what is there? You have to find out, the next step you have to find out the cost of how much cost is coming. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. These many activity you have, and their time is also given. Suppose A is taking 5 days, B is taking 2 days, C is taking 8 days, D is taking 3 days, E is taking 4 days, F is taking how many days?
6.
6 days. It is 6. So 6 days, and G is taking 5 days. Now suppose in the resourcing, you are already decided A activity total cost is say $1,000. This is taking $1,500. This is taking say $1,000. This activity completing is $500. All are in dollars. And this is taking say $300. This is taking $1,500, and this is taking say $1,000. This is the total cost of completing the activity is known. Say third column is the total cost of completing the activity. Now in the
But why?
crashing, am I clear?
But why we will? Yes, sir. But why we will consider the cost of B and D, because that is not falling on the critical path. We have to.
I'm just, but you have to know the cost of each activity, no, that I have written. Now I am identifying the cost of those activity which is on my critical path. So my critical path is A. So I am identifying A. Okay. My critical path C. So I am identifying C. And my critical path E. I am identifying E. Am I clear? And my critical path G, I am identifying G. We will work only on these activity and we will find out cost per day. Please tell me the cost per day. So cost per day of E is 1000 by 5. Cost per day of C is 1000 by 8. Cost per day of E is 300 by 4. Am I clear? And cost per day of G is 1000 by 5. Am I clear? This is clear to everyone?
Yes, yes, sir.
So which one is the least? 1005, 1008. I think 1005 is more than 1008. So C is the least. Then 300 by 4 is, I think, more lesser than 1000. Which one is less?
C.
C.
Sorry, E.
Am I clear? C or E?
E.
Please calculate it on calculator and tell me. C or E? Which one is the less?
It is E, sir. $75 per day.
Okay.
It is 75 because C is 125.
C is 125 and E is 75. So we have to crash the E. So which activity we have to crash? Crash from 22 days to 21 days. Which activity we have to crash?
E.
Which activity we have to crash? Crash the E activity. And suppose E activity, if you are crashing by 1 day, but $75 is not 75. You have to put some extra cost. So suppose per crashing, 1 day crashing, extra cost you ask from your boss. If I'm crashing by 1 day, how much extra cost you will give? So he will say that if you crash the activity by 1 day, $100 per day we will give. $100 per day is the crashing cost. Am I clear? So this crashing cost is $100 here. And now 1 day crossing cost, you are with a minimum loss, $100 crashing cost, 1 day you crashed. Am I clear to all of you? Now which activity is crashed? E activity. So E, now you are completing E. Earlier you are taking 4 days, now you are taking 3 days. Am I clear? By additional pumping $100 into the E department, you can get the E department work done. Instead of 4 days, you are getting it done by 3 days. Am I with you, friends? Now
yes,
again you calculate. Now again you calculate the per day cost. Here it is again in a it is on a critical path only. You want to crash 1 more day. So 100 by 5, 1000 by 8. And here now it is 300 by other things is same. 300 by how much? Now you are completing 3 days. 300 by 3. Right? And here 1000 by 5. Now which one is the list? In the second part, which one is the list? Again, E is the list because still E is taking $100 per day cost, working on $100 per day cost, and C is taking $125 per day. So again, which activity I have to crash? To reach 20 days? E, and pump $100.
But that crashing cost will not be added in the E because 300 is the normal cost for completing E.
Now yes, you are very correct. You are very correct. And therefore I stopped. You have given the answer. You yourself have given the answer which I wanted to add on. You are completing the E not in $300. Very correct.
It is in 400.
You are completing in $400.
Yes.
Am I clear? So 400 by 3 is there in this situation scenario. Here up to, so 400 by 3 is more than, so now you have to crash, you don't crash E, because 400 by 3 is how much?
133.
133, which is more than 125 for C. So now
we
in the
have,
second time you crash C and pump $100. And now, because my objective was to reach up to 20 days, therefore I crashed. Now you understood it. If your boss is saying to crash up to 18 days, now again you find out by adding this $100 in C, 1100 divided by 7 days, and then you find out how much is this. And here it is 4,400 by 3, which one is less, and then you have to crash. So like that you can do the crashing. I think all of you understood it. Anybody is having any doubt of crashing? Can you do, all of you?
yes sir, just one question.
Yes, please.
There will be some limitation in crashing of any activity also, because like if we want to reduce C or E from 8 to 6, so there is a constant in the,
If in the project it is given that we cannot go beyond 5 days of crashing of C, then you can stop there, and you take the next minimum least cost per day activity for crashing, right?
okay.
If the constant is given in your project, then only, otherwise you can crash and you can reach up to 1 day by pumping $100 continuously, right?
Okay sir.
Okay, fine, thank you. So I think all of you understood the crashing, and this is a very important thing, that this, if this concept is clear as a project manager in our mind, then we can do anything as a project leader in the society, because everyone wants the work have to be completed well before the time, and that we can do it. That is one of the most important objective. Example is already there. Some illustrations of the crashing is given in your book on page number 156, that you can refer it. Now the fast tracking. This is the last. This is the another important topic. Activity normally performed in series are performed at the same time. This is called fast tracking. Fast tracking को क्या बोलते हैं? Parallel processing. Am I clear? Activities normally performed in a series are performed at the same time. This is called fast tracking. Am I clear? Activity normally performed in a series. Can you tell me any example that you can do activity, you can do fast tracking? Any example which is there in your mind?
Activity which are independent from other, that can be done in
That can be
performed in fast tracking.
Fast track. So in this, which activity have to be fast track? We have to focus only on the activity which is on the critical path, right? And see on the critical path, anything which can be done together, that type of activity you have to identify it and do the parallel processing, and by that you can reduce the time. This is called fast tracking, and fast tracking means parallel processing. And that activity you can parallelly processed, which can be performed without completion of the preceded activity. That is the way we can do the fast tracking activity. This is all about the journey. Now I am coming to the Gantt project software, where I will demonstrate you how you can add the Gantt project. All of you please open the Gantt project, and the same Gantt project, you have already done the exercise. The same exercise, all of you please open it. So many, only one is there. I am opening the, can you all of you see here? I opened the project, and I am opening open. Yesterday we have already previously washing machine launch Gantt chart, we have already prepared it. So I opened it. These many activity and work breakdown and structure is already there. And beginning date and end date with their Gantt chart is ready with us. Am I clear? We have already demonstrated you in the previous day that how this how the view also in the form of a part chart. This view is there. I think this view is clear to everyone. And here you can see the yellow shaded boxes are our critical activity on this project, right? Now today you are going to learn how to add the resource. So I am clicking here. You see project edit. We have already framed the RSCI chart. Who is responsible for determining the project? Who is responsible? Who has to be informed? Who has to be consulted? And who will give the approval for each this activity? So here that is resource. We can write add the new resource button is there. You can add the resource. I am adding two resource here. I am adding one resource n.m.mishra. NM Misra is a resource. Their phone number, email ID is already there. I am adding their starting date. I am adding starting date we can add. Suppose he has already started from 18th of Jan. So we can add 18 Jan. Yeah, and ending date we are adding. Let's see, he will complete he is with us up to 30th of April. So I'm adding the ending date and adding it. And this is the things I added. Custom the column, manage the column. We can manage the column, adding what is their default roles, assignment roles that we can add here. Hide selected. So default role we can give and press OK. And here I am pressing OK. We can add some more resources. Suppose I am adding one more resource. Some resource properties is also there. Here I am adding one more resource properties. Day off I can add. Day off I can add. I can add no day off. I am adding that we can do here and press OK. Now suppose I am going to the Gantt chart. And here I am taking determine the product types. I am opening the task properties, and here I have opened the task properties by right clicking, right? We have the determining the product feature. We have already started this activity on 18 Jan 2021. This was a 5 days duration. We have I'm going to allocate the resource here. Procedure is no worry. Resource I am not allocated till now. You can see here. I am adding the resource. And I am adding the resource name. One resource person is there. And I am adding this resource person, assigning the responsibility from the RSCI chart. What is the responsibility here? I can say that he's a coordinator of this activity. So I have just clicked it as a coordinator. And role I am not defined here. I am defining the role here. He's a project manager, he's a director, he's a project team member. These things you have to clearly. Here I have an option, project manager. So I have taken a project manager role here. We can set, calculate, or we can set explicitly. I am fixing it that I will give 5,000 per day. Suppose I'm 50,000 per day. I fixed it, set explicitly 50,000, and that I have already added. So one resource, what is the responsibility? Everything have been assigned here. He's the project manager, and from the RSCI chart we can see. Similarly, we can add the resource here. You can add as many resources as you can. Suppose I am adding Mr. Sanjay as another resource person, and his mail and email ID I don't know, but I'm default role, RSCI role I am assigning. It is undefined that we can write any role here. Undefined role is there. Standard rate I am fixing. Standard rate I am fixing that he will get 4,000 as a standard rate, and custom columns I can make, manage columns I can make We can customize here, add the custom field managers. I'm saying that he's a project, he's a director. So I can add director, and I can add here director. I have already added here. You can see the team members, and then so selected, director. You can the column type, you can write integer, date, or boolean. Default value enable, you can write here, and you can press OK. And then you can add some more custom people, like SME you can write. That also we are adding it here. So SME I can add, and then you can add general properties name, Mr. Sanjay, OK. And then you can see that according the prototype, I am selecting right properties, and then I am going here, I am assigning the resource, I am adding the resource. That you can see now you have Mr. Sanjay, and his role is unidentified. We can later on we can add director and everything, and like that you can assign the resource person in this project journey. So how the resourcing the project we can do, that we have demonstrated here, and you can learn in detail. This is all about this chapter, and we have concluded here. Now this is the time for all of you to complete the multiple choice question, which is given on the page number 167. All of you, please go to page number 167. Multiple choice question. Can you see, all of you? Multiple choice question. It is there in your page number 167. What I have done, you can see here, all of you. I have already created one project management team here. In this team, we have already created you some session 1. Say for example, those who have attended the session 1, for them their recorded session is there. I have also created one self-test key of SLM. In your SLM, the question is there, multiple choice question is there. Am I with you, friends? Can you hear me? Time and again I have to check, because if you are not able to hear me, yes, I have to can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Here you see, can you see this team channel view on your screen? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have already shared you the answer key of our multiple choice question. You download
Yes,
this word,
sir.
and you just see all the multiple choice question MCQ answer key I have shared here, right? You only thing is you go through the page number 167, read the question, and first you do by your own, and later on you open this test key and check how many answer is correct, right? So I'm not wasting my time on doing all these 10 questions. These are the very important question. All of you see, check yourself and test it from this channel, right? Now I am coming to the next chapter. All of you please come to the next chapter, budgeting. Shall we start the budgeting chapter? Yes, friend. Shall we start the budgeting? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before starting the budget, I am going to demonstrate you a distinguished person which is there with us today, and you will listen to him. Okay, so all of you can see on the screen the name of this distinguished person is Michael Porter, and he is going to talk about the project management now with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But we can't see. Screen is black.
Okay, 1 minute.
Not audible, sir.
Hello, yes, please tell me.
Not audible.
Okay,
Nothing is displayed.
not able to hear, huh? Okay.
Even sir, we can't see also.
1 minute. Once again, I'm sharing.
Sir, your video is coming. We cannot see or hear anything.
Okay. I'm sharing him. Okay. Can you see all of you?
Yes, sir.
Now,
question is, how do we ensure
We can't hear, sir. Can you
okay,
unmute?
I think some challenges is there that we will share you later on. Okay, don't worry. I am just coming back to
No,
our
video
budgeting.
video was coming,
We
sir.
will
You have
start the
to
budgeting
increase the
project.
voice.
Okay. Yes, please.
Video was coming. You have to increase the voice of that video.
Okay, okay. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, we will discuss we will see him later on. Now we have to start the budgeting project because time is very less with us. I think all of you can see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So hand. Okay. Some challenge is there. 1 minute. Okay, please hold on. I think all of you please do the multiple choice question in between. right? And I'm just trying to upload the budgeting project. This is your budgeting is a chapter 8, and here you will learn some of the very important tools pertaining to the accountancy also. Here you will learn how to define the project cost terms and tell how each is used in estimating the project cost. We will talk about the various project estimation methods. 3 important methods we will talk. All the 3 method name is given here. All of you see analogous method, parametric method, and bottom up method. These are the 3 methods are used for estimating the cost that all of you must have learned in the management accounting also. We will also describe the issue in the project cost estimating and how it deals with each. And we will also see creating a time phase bottom up budget for the project in this chapter. We have very limited time, but because all of you are very much familiar with the few terms of accounting, therefore this chapter will go in a very fast way. Don't worry. Project budgeting, all of you are knowing, involves developing a cost management plan for the project. It's called project budgeting. Cost management plan for a project. For a small project, we can ensure accurate cost estimation and secure the fundings and develop the cost reporting procedures. For a large project, we can develop and use accurate cash flow estimates. Now, the purpose of the cost management plan is how to develop and share relevant, accurate, and timely information for decision making. It provides the feedback linking the project to business objective. It helps the project stakeholders focus on schedule, performance, and the cost. Therefore, we have to go with the budgeting. Cost estimation is linked to the scope, schedule, and the resource planning. We have already learned scope planning, scheduling of the project, and how to resource planning before starting the estimation of the cost. All of you know, in the process of estimation of a cost as a project manager or a manager, we must know 4 important things. Then only we can do the budgeting or we can estimate the cost. All 4 are the star things which is given on the PowerPoint slides. Type of cost, whether your cost is a fixed type, variable cost, all these things are there or not. What methods we have to use to estimate the cost, all 2 we will talk about. And timing and accuracy of the cost estimation and cost estimating issues. These are the 4 important things as a project manager or a manager we must know. I think all of you are very much familiar with these types of cost. For example, salary of an employee monthly, you get work or not, you have to give them fixed cost. But Labor cost, every day you are hiring a labor to work on construction of a bridge. So if they are coming for say hourly, you are paying, or daily you are paying, and say you are saying that if you will manufacture 5 kilometers, I will pay you 5,000 rupees. So this is a variable cost. Similarly, the costs are of two different baskets we can put: fixed cost, variable cost. I'm not going to elaborate what is the meaning of these, because all of us in the either on a second executive, second year, second semester executive programs, or in a fourth program wherein we have already learned lot of concept pertaining to do. 1 minute. हाँ पुरुषोत्तम जी. अच्छा अच्छा, अटेंडेंस. हाँ, उनको बच्चों को बोल दूंगा, अपना अटेंडेंस दे देंगे, हैं, ठीक है ना उस. हाँ तो हाँ 1 मिनट में अभी 1 मिनट प्लीज स्टूडेंट, प्लीज होल्ड ऑन. आई एम टॉकिंग विद मिस्टर पुरुषोत्तम. 3 डॉट को क्लिक कर दिया पुरुषोत्तम जी. हाँ 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 हाँ, किस पे बॉस? पार्टिसिपेंट्स, हाँ हाँ हाँ, पार्टिसिपेंट्स, उसका 3 डॉट्स है. हाँ, उसमें डाउनलोड अटेंडेंस सीट है. हमने डाउनलोड कर भी दिया, क्लिक कर दिया, बस बस ठीक है. थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू. ओके 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 फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम back. Okay, so I was talking about the types of cost that you have seen here. I don't want to elaborate. The fixed cost remains the same regardless of volumes of work. Variable cost vary directly with the volume used. Cost curve reflects as low a total cost as possible. You can see the types of cost. Direct cost means this direct labor cost. Direct costs are material, travel, consultation, which you can see the cost which is visible to everyone. This type of cost is a direct cost. Yeah, and then we have indirect cost, a cost which is not visible to us, like salary, building, utility, insurance, clerical assistant. These are the indirect cost. Now, some of the examples of direct cost and indirect costs are given in this PowerPoint slides. All of you aware about it. Direct cost, the programmer's labor cost you are paying, system analyst cost you are paying, system architect cost you are paying. These are all the direct cost. And then we have the recurring and non-recurring cost. Recurring cost repeated as the project continue. Cost of writing cost occurring during the project evaluation. Some costs are recurring in nature and some are non-recurring. Cost happens only once during the project. Time and again the things is happening, cost is coming, then it is a recurring cost. And one-time cost like design development is a one-time cost, that is a non-recurring cost. So we have some costs are regular cost, and regular cost occurs when the progress can be made by normal work hours and purchasing agreements. And expedite the cost occurs when the cost project must be conducted faster than the normal. We have different type of costs have been explained here in your book. I'm not going to elaborate in detail. If you are not able to understand the different type of cost which have been already discussed in your SAM 1 during the when you have learned the management accounting. In this project management book also in detail, page number 174, 175 and 176, we have explained the different type of cost in detail, and we are also talking here in this PowerPoint, and this PowerPoint we have already uploaded it on your team channel, that you can open it and see if you are not able to understand accuracy and time in the cost. Now I'm coming to see the budget and defining the estimate. More accurate cost estimates at each stage, rolling way plan. I'm coming to state away methods of estimating the cost. That is the most important component of this chapter. As you have seen, the type of cost, and the second important component of the budgeting is methods of estimating the cost. If I know these are the this is a fixed cost, this is a variable cost, this is a direct cost, this is an indirect cost, now how we have to estimate the cost? So three methods are there. These three methods you can see here, it is written. You can read also: analogous estimating cost method, parametric estimating methods, and bottom-up estimating method. You can understand very easily. I am coming to explain you the methods of estimating the cost. The first you see in this PowerPoint itself, bottom-up estimating cost methods, which is given here. If you see this basket, three type I have told: analogous methods, bottom-up methods, and parametric methods. These are the methods you can see here. You see in the bottom-up methods, you start from the calculating the cost, calculating the cost from the bottom and reach on the top. This is the bottom-up estimation methods. Then you have an analogous method, start from the top and go to the bottom. And parametric method, you take a step by step, one by one. I am explaining you. First I am taking because first is an analogous method. Analogous estimation method, consider a similar project. Hello, yes, please tell me.
One question.
Yes,
One
please
question
tell
in previous slide.
yes, tell
So
me.
what are these small blocks? What they are representing, sir?
Which one?
In the block diagram.
In this block diagram, they are showing the three. This is the blocks are showing the structure. So the project manager, this organizational structure is there, right? Project manager, under that subject engineers are there, then supervisors are there, right? This is the structure. Am I clear?
Okay, so this is organization chart.
Or in another words, in another way, you try to understand that suppose your project is there. Under that project, you have the three activities are there. So activity 1, activity 2, activity 3 is there. Under these three, activity 1, you have task 1, task 2. Under this task 2, you have subtask 1, subtask 2 is there. Am I clear? So you start,
Yeah.
what is the cost of subtask 1? What is the cost of subtask 2? You add it together, then you will get the task of what is the cost of task 2, T2. And then you find out same manner the T1 task. Add the T1 and T2 together, you will get the cost of A1. And similarly, you find the cost of A2, add A1 plus A2, you will get the AB project cost. This is the method which is called a bottom-up method. Am I clear? So you can understand the activity, task, and subtask is the branches of these leaves, branches of this tree. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the three different methods, I am trying to elaborate you. First method of estimating cost is analogous method. An estimating technique, analogous method is an estimating technique that uses parameters such as size. Number one, please see on the bottom. I am reading from the bottom only. Your parameters are size, weight, or complexity from a previous similar activity as the basis for estimating the same parameter or measure for future activity. consider a similar project in the analogous estimation method. What we are doing as a project manager, first thing what we are doing is, suppose I have already made a bridge, same type of bridge. Suppose I am making a bridge on the Ganga river, right? And another bridge we have already constructed on a Jamuna river of same size and same width. So we know what was the cost. So similar project as a cost estimating a starting point I have taken. Require experience performing similar project and actual cost of a similar project you have to see. Knowledge of how the proposed project differ from the previous project that we have to incorporate, and experience with methods used to perform the project. This is the analogous method where you are using the past trend, and on the basis of experience you are identifying, yes, this task, similar type of project we have done in $5,000. Now because here this much improvement is there, so we need plus minus $5,000. So like that we can calculate it. So here your past experience, your past knowledge together playing an important role in estimating the cost. Therefore this method is called analogous estimation method. Second one is called parametric estimation method. Here it involves finding more information regarding the project and estimating the technique that uses a statistical relationship between historical data and other variable to calculate the project cost. Here you are using the statistical method. Which type of statistical method we can use? Suppose your project is showing some straight line trend, and in 2010 you have done the same type of project in say $10 lakh. Now your project is showing this type of project is showing a straight line trend. Y is equal to ax plus b formula regression analysis you apply, and you find out what is now the cost that you can apply it, and you can find the cost. So here we have different type of statistical technique is available where we can apply the historical data set, and from that historical data set we can find out the trend of the cost, and accordingly we can projected cost that we can find out with the historical data set, and that projected cost for each and every task you have to calculate, and that projected cost you have to add it, and after adding it then you can do the estimation. This costing is called estimated parametric estimate on cost. Bottom up I have already elaborated to all of you. Divide all your project activity into the different task to subtask, and subtask to further subtasks, and then calculate the cost. This is a method of estimating a component of work. Work is decomposed into more detail, and then find out their cost and add it together, and you can find out. Bottom up estimation you can use for a small project. The parametric estimation you can use for the medium size project, and analogous estimation we are using for a large size of project where we have, as an organization, we have lot of experience of handling this type of project. So accordingly we can pick the type of costing methods. So this is all about the here in this project estimation. You need some supporting details for doing exercise. These are given here, and these you can use it. So I think various techniques have been given. I don't know whether it is given in your book or not. Vendor bid analysis methods we can use.
Sir,
in your book,
explain parametric once again.
Parametric method. Okay. In the parametric method, coming to that, in the parametric method, what you are doing is you are calculating the projected cost. For example, if you are developing a software, and your one activity, you have already done a similar type of project in 2010, or if in a knowledge base you are already knowing that for developing a banking related one model, it is cost 2010, it has costed say $5 lakh, right? 5 lakh rupees. Now you are knowing that you have a historical data of say 2001 2001 to 2019, you have the historical data pertaining to the module 1 development, right? You have a historical data, you have x-axis, you have the time data, and a y-axis and here you have a cost data pertaining to that module. You have already having, suppose 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years data is there, and their cost is there given to you $100, $200, $150, and $250. Like that, you have a historical data available with you. Now what you have to do, you have to find out the trend on the basis of this historical data. Whether this trend is showing in a straight line trend, or it is showing a hyperbolic exponential trend, or a normal trend, what type of trend it is showing. So their trend equation, you will get it. And this trend, generally, if it is showing, suppose for example, this historical data is showing in a straight line trend, it means it is showing an equation of y is equal to ax plus b. All of you have already learned regression analysis. We can forecasting. We can apply the forecasting technique. All of you are knowing, particularly in the parametric estimation, we are using forecasting techniques. All of you please note down. In the forecasting technique, 2 methods are used. One is called regression analysis method. All of you please note down. And another method is called time series analysis method. From this time series analysis and regression analysis, we can forecast the cost as on today, right? Regression analysis I have already taught to you in the statistics, where we are using y is equal to mx plus c, and time series analysis you have already learned in the operations management. Both the forecasting tools you are already learned. If you want, you can, I am telling you, all of you can refer the quantitative method book, where you will get the regression analysis, where we apply the Carl Pearson formula for finding out A, finding out B. Then you can find out the y is equal to ax plus b, that you can apply, and how we have calculated it, that we will find out. If you are not able to understand how to do the regression analysis and how to do the forecast time series analysis, you can write a mail to me. I will share you the document on some illustrated example on your team channel, and you can refer it and understand it. Even though if you are not able to understand, you can directly call me or write a mail. I will explain you. But try from your side to understand how we are calculating the projected cost using parametric estimation, using regression analysis and time series analysis. We have concluded this section also. All the way we have completed your chapter altogether, this chapter. And some parts is left here in this chapter. Time is already completed. Determine budget. This section is left, that we will talk in the next session tomorrow at 10 o'clock from this chapter. And then agenda for the next session I have already shared to you. With this I am concluding today's session, and I am requesting everyone to do the multiple choice question, which is given on page number 187 at the end of this chapter. 10 multiple choice question. Beauty is, don't refer the key first. Key we have already pasted on the team channel, but first you do by your own all the 10 self-test quiz. You have to do it and then check it from the answer which I have already pasted on the team channel. I think this is the right time to stop the journey. This is the time for all of you for a Q&A. If you have any question, you can ask me. Q&A time. Any doubt, you can open your mic and ask. Q&A time. Any doubt? Hello? I stopped sharing. Any doubt, if you have, please ask me. Yes, please.
Sir, how to get this team channel?
Team channel, okay. So one thing you do, you share me the email ID on my, you know my email ID, all of you? You have the email ID? Please tell me.
No, we don't have. Can you share it?
Oh, yes. Please note down my email ID. My email ID is nmmishra@imtcdl.ac.in. Right? This is my email ID. Please note down. And if you want to send through WhatsApp, this is my WhatsApp ID also. You can check it. And you share your email ID. Your email ID means not your personal email ID. IMTCDL must have given you some email ID, which is suffixed with at imtcdl.ac.in. It's there with you, no? And therefore you are attending this session. Same email ID, if you will share with me, I will add you on the team channel. Today or tomorrow you will get. Right? Now, any doubt if you have, you can ask me. This is a Q&A time, and then we will stop the discussion.
So this project management channel, we will be the part of until this semester or lifetime?
Yes, yeah, it will be for, if you want to continue, it will be for the lifetime. Always there. I am available with you lifetime, right? I am there. Things is there, right? Lifetime.
Yeah, your point was that means if we have any doubt in future, we can connect.
Yes. Point is that anytime if you are facing any difficulty, I am already available lifetime. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, goodbye. Enjoy your Saturday. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we will meet together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.